And a big mouth. Right there.
Oh, okay. You said going on social media. Oh, okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for making it. This is a great day. It started with an idea from this guy over here, Jeremy, the Godfather.
And a big mouth. Right there.
Oh, okay. You said going on social media. Oh, okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for making it. This is a great day. It started with an idea from this guy over here, Jeremy, the Godfather.
Okay, we are live.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Hello.
How's it going?
You're
I feel like Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. right now.
Hey Edgar, how are you? Edgar's watching. Let's see here. Let's see. Let me take off the.
I'm visible. You can see me.
There we go. Okay. It's only for a minute though. Here we go. We're gonna have to remove it. Let's see. Okay, everybody, how's everybody doing? We are on Javier's channel, so I want to let him give an introduction.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Javier Guzman with Mr. Phone Doctor. Everybody tuning in, you guys are in for a treat. We're going to be going over some diversification in your field. So I'm going to go ahead and let Nicole start off and say a little bit about yourself, Nicole, and what you do.
Thank you. So I own Cellbotics. So we are a training center. We have an in-person location in Atlanta, and then we also train online, and we have support platforms and all this amazing stuff if you want to learn anything. And even though there is a myth out there that there is no business course for the repair industry, that is wrong. Me and Tabitha right now just launched a B2B program and working with a bunch of people. It has been so much fun, but we actually have business courses as well. So, and at the expo, I'll be speaking on a training panel and just helping out. Kevin, you want to go next?
Sure. Kevin with Ad Central. I'm here to continue talking about diversifying revenue with you guys. So,
what does Ad Central do? Tell us a little bit about Ad Central.
Sure. So Ad Central is an automation platform for your social media marketing. We also have an in-store marketing tool to display all of the content and help your front desk employees upsell. We do site creation for the repair industry, and we also have a check-ins and diagnostics tool that we are finalizing. So
awesome. Thank you. Scott?
Yeah, how's it going? It's Scott from Injured Gadgets. Obviously, if you guys don't know us, we're a massive parts distributor, accessories, tools, all that kind of stuff. But I'm excited to see what I can contribute, and definitely excited for the Gadget Repair Expo 2.0.
Yes, thank you, Scott. Ahmed, you're muted.
Can't hear you.
It's all good. Still can't hear you. We'll skip you and come back to you. Tabitha.
I'm Tabitha. I work with Nicole. I help with training and implementation and research and the whole nine. So
Yes. Everything. There you go.
everything. Yes.
Yes. Josh? Ahmed, you're still muted. Josh?
Hey, I'm Josh. I work with Nicole as well. Love working with Cellbotics, and I teach phone flipping. I teach how to buy and resell phones and just make a lot of profit, and more importantly, just staying safe. And I will be showing live demos at the Gadget Repair Expo. So I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Oh, Tabitha's actually our gaming repair system trainer too.
Yes.
To throw that out there. We've had a lot of calls today. It's been a long day. All right. Javier already gave his information.
Bobby's to go.
Bobby.
I'll take it over. Hi guys, I'm Bobby. I'm with eTech Parts Plus. We are like Scott at IG, a parts distributor. We also do a little bit on the repair and training side too, to help businesses out there needing help with learning new devices. A lot of micro soldering stuff too on the B2B side. My role at the company is covering, or I'm the director of a repair and training departments, but I also do a lot of the product setup, product knowledge stuff. So making sure the parts are what they're supposed to be, tools that everyone needs are in stock too. So a little bit of that stuff.
And you'll be doing a laser demo at the expo.
Yes, and
like a demo training. So we're trying to make them more like trainings this time and not just look and tease. So we'll actually be prepping those. Yeah.
And that's what I think it turned into at the last one is we were giving a lot of tips that help with issues that people were having with certain process. That happened in my demo. I think I heard it in the micro soldering ones too. And because this is we're located in Dallas. San Antonio is a lot closer than Atlanta was. So we're actually bringing multiple lasers since we're just going to drive down from here. So we'll have a lot more this time.
Yeah, and with the demo people, I'm actually going to help them kind of put together info packets or something to give out to people to make it more try to give a training as a demo at the same time. So you guys are really walking away with value if you come to the expo. And Shira? And then we'll go back to Ahmed.
I'm back, but keep going. Keep going the circle.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shora Ward. I'm the owner of Girls Fix It out here in the Northeast, the suburbs of Philadelphia. And I will be doing an Apple Watch demo in San Antonio. Looking forward to do it. So I'm the Apple Watch girl and looking forward to working with you all and talking about diversifying our revenue.
And Shira actually does mail-in watch refurb. So if you need somebody for that, that's your girl right there.
That's right.
Yeah. All right,
she's amazing. Okay, this is Ahmed. I am the CEO and founder of Unlimited Prepaid Distribution. We are a master agent for prepaid, wireless, and telecom, and we do and as founder of Upluck Social, we're a social media and marketing agency for cell phone and repair shops and wireless companies and other businesses we've been adding. I'm here to help everybody. If anybody have any question, I encourage everybody to watch these sessions because we got a lot of wealth over here. Everybody rich here with their information that we're here to help you guys and make sure that you're successful. Thank you so much for inviting me here, and I'm here to help.
Okay, great.
Good to see you guys. This is the highest number I've ever seen in one call, right? The biggest number.
Yeah, well, we usually have 10, but we're close. We're one off right now.
Let's do it.
It's great. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. So the topic today was diversifying services. So I want to focus here. I want to give Javier a little bit of time to talk about refurb. I really love refurb, and I think that shops should be doing it. Even techs that work from home can do refurb. So do you want to shed a little light on that, Javier, about refurb and how people can make money with that? And is it something lucrative? And because people always look at the difficult side, like it takes time and you're going to break things, but they never look at the positives.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like with anything, that's one thing. Anything that you do, it does take time. It's not something that happens overnight. So, you just got to be in there grinding. But of course, with all the proper training and expertise that's out there now, you can get started on this pretty quickly, and, it is pretty lucrative. You know, I mean, because you're basically saving that OLED panel, especially in the Samsung devices. You know, Samsung's, you know, like the S22 Ultras, you're looking probably about $350 display. You know, glass, OCA, and the equipment. You know, you could probably do it for, you know, less than like $30 with labor and everything, as long as you got the skilled technicians to do that. So, you know, and with that being said, I mean, you can definitely diversify into different markets. You know, you can buy broken devices, work with different distributors who do buybacks on broken phone trade-ins, get those devices, bring them in-house, refurbish them, and then of course you flip them. You know, I'm sure that's something that Joshua is also going to explain to us, him being a pro in that field as well. So you know, refurbishing has definitely been our stepping stone, and that's where we actually got started. And we did do it in our back bedroom. To go back to Nicole, she mentioned talking about starting in your back bedroom, and that's where Mr. Phone Doctor started. We were in a back bedroom and just learned it, and we are here now.
I love it. That's awesome. I think that some people get intimidated because they think that they have to have such a, you know, one person has to do it all. But I know, like Nas brought up before, if you kind of systematize it and you make it more of like a manufacturing thing, like each step is a little different, it does make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, definitely. You can hire different amount of groups depending on your volume, you know, because then, I mean, if you have like an assembly line, technically you can have someone cutting, have someone cleaning, and have someone working the machinery laminating, you know, and that is something that I highly recommend for like big bulk orders where you're doing like thousands of pieces a month, you know.
And you can do mail-in. So this is something that we're covering in our B2B. Is this is a service where shops and things and even facilities and companies will mail you their assemblies to get
Exactly. Mail-in's been really big for us too, because me, I have a big e-commerce background. That's where my background came into play. So you know, I designed the whole website, which was a simple WordPress. We created a online form where customers go, they fill it out, and we don't have to do anything. They get a prepaid label sent to them right after they fill out that form, you know. So we've been automated in that field. So yeah, mail-ins is great for it, and lots of room to grow with, especially with the B2B channel.
Got it. Okay. Now, another thing that might be intimidating for people if they're looking to add refurb is they think, well, how would I even find those kind of customers?
Oh, they're out there. You know, they're all out there. You know, everyone that walks into your store, majority of the time, it's gonna be a glass only replacement. You know, so you know, they're walking your door every day. You just got to realize and know that if it's a broken screen, good panel, it's refurbishable.
Yeah, and we work with a lot of facilities, which is what me and Tabitha are working with this group for the next 8 weeks. And even facilities need this done. Sometimes we'll walk in and there are bins and bins and bins of screens and they don't know what to do with them. They're either recycling them, trying to find somebody to sell them to. And so, you know, they don't understand, oh, refurbing this. You think that they understand. Technicians seem to think that other people know what we know, but it's just not that widely known that you can actually refurb and reuse them and keep original quality screens. And with Apple coming out with that new software that'll revalidate an original part, even if it's not a match for that phone, I think that this is going to become really, really key. When I was in Washington at the RLSQ, if you guys don't know what that is, it's a meeting that is put on by CTIA members. Apple's there, LG's there, Samsung's there. And they meet with CTIA. It's a very small group. And they're the ones that, you know, they just chat about the industry. And this was the topic that came up when I was there. It's about 30 people in the room. And they brought up this new software that Apple's coming out with. So I feel like it's going to be even more prevalent as that comes out.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to
that. Quick question. Can I ask a question?
Yes, please ask away.
Okay. So what advice that I just want to hear from everybody, if that's okay. I don't want to take over this, but I just want to ask, what is if someone is starting their business today, Javier, since it's your channel, let's start with Javier. What do you give a new business repair, a telecommunication in general, a repair store? How about that? Since you are on the repair,
like what type of advice I give them?
Yes.
Like, you know, try to learn everything. You know, learn everything. But once you learn everything, start delegating. Don't try to overwork yourself, because then that's going to be a whole burnout process, you know? I mean, there's only so much that you can do in a day. So learn as much as you can. Start getting people that are qualified. And even if they aren't qualified, you know, this is things that they can be trained on and coached on, you know? If you have the right proper training skills and everything can be duplicatable. So you can ease into it. And don't try to grow too fast. You know, all of this does not happen overnight. I mean, I've been in business for 6 years now, and we're still growing to this day. So just be patient and, you know, believe in yourself.
I like that. Okay. One thing I just wanted to add on top of this, I was out for 2 days. This is my first 2 days in the field with one of the sales managers decided to take me out for 2 days. I literally went to over 25, 30 stores, and there were one thing common in all these stores. One thing, I need more help. I said, you guys going to hire some people? He said, I'm looking for experienced people. Like all of them looking for experienced people. I said, where's that person? I can't find him. What do you talk about training? What do you talk about? What do you think about getting people and train them? Is that possible, Javier, since you are
Definitely, that is possible. I mean, I've brought in guys that have no technical background, and you know, one important thing is having an operation procedure set in place. You know, so that way, you know, you can teach them how to do it, but then, you know, if they forget some step, they got a manual. Like just open up a book and they can just see, okay, all right, it's in this step. This is what I got to do next, and it kind of refreshes the memory. You know, you just got to be patient with them, but everything's teachable. And going on trainings. I mean, if people do want to get into the refurb, we're going to be working with Nicole. Our training class is going to be with her. So, you know, it is, and you just got to take time and find a good mentor to show you the ropes on how to do it. It's very easy to do though.
What do you tell people? I want to ask Sierra. Sierra, what do you think about training people? Because can you hear me?
Sierra.
Yeah,
Shira.
Shira.
It's like Shira, like Shira. You know?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is she frozen?
She's on mute.
I actually gotta say
okay.
Josh wants to ask. Josh wants to add in. Go ahead, Josh.
Go ahead, Joshua.
Yeah, it's actually interesting, you know, that we are actually talking about this, because this is actually like very, very important in any business, especially a business that's growing. For me, an example, I hope I don't get in trouble for this because I'm about to drop a gem for the phone flippers out there, but I actually hired a VA to post my ads for me and to negotiate for me, because honestly, I done grew to the point to where I'm too busy. I'm honestly too busy to really, like, you know, do that and consistently, you know, be there and things like that. And that's just something, you know, I teach in my in-person training. I'm not going to get in detail too much about that, but that has actually helped me a lot. And it has opened up room for me to now what I'm actually focusing on is building a list of just private buyers, you know, and things like that. So now I'm have time to, you know, get on the phone and talk with these people. So diversifying is very important. And like Javier said, like having a system in place, that's just even more important, because I also have to train these VAs. These VAs don't know what to say. You know, I'm hiring them. They don't know what to say. I have to train them. I have to train them like I train anybody else, how to negotiate.
Actually, Ahmed has a whole team, Josh. He has a whole team.
Wow.
Yes, a whole team.
I only got, honestly, me right now, I'm only at 2 VAs, but that's been very lucrative. It honestly has been very lucrative, and I learned that through a mentorship, just by investing. And man, again, you know, I'm always talking about investing into myself, and then that's pretty much how I feel about that.
So let me tell you that this is great. Good job, Joshua. I mean, you couldn't do any better, man. This is amazing. So this is, I have 2 stores, by the way, bringing up the VAs. These 2 stores locally here, and he said, dude, I am having high volume of calls. And I said, okay, you know what's your problem? I said, you're making your technician guys who you make more money from answer the calls. Why don't you hire someone else to answer the call? Take messages, send you an email with everyone, just break it down to you. Like let someone else answer the call. So he hired 2, not 1, 2, taking calls, sending emails, messages to the customers, messages to the technicians, messages to him. They use it through a system, and everybody's working here locally, and the VAs picked up the calls. And guess what? His business went up. He's not missing any call. He's not missing any opportunity, because a lot of stores are ignoring these calls. Dude, you're ignoring your calls. You're ignoring your business. Simple. Yeah.
I want to add something here real quick and just kind of go around the room. So I kind of want to go to each of you. And what do you think there is a service, you know, that a store is maybe not doing enough of? Like, as you know, each of you are kind of in different parts of this repair world. What is something that you think a store is not doing enough of or putting enough in? Kevin, you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, as you mentioned, we're all doing different parts of the repair world, and what we focus on our end is marketing and social media presence. You know, if your store doesn't have designers and doesn't have people that are posting these ads, how are your customers supposed to know that, you know, you're still active? How are they supposed to know what you're doing, or that your new services, or that you are taking care of the newest devices, or, you know, if you add game console repair, or after talking to one of these guys, you start refurbishing? How could you possibly manage keeping that content up to date at all times without continuously hiring out? So I think it's important that stores focus on that type of exposure for their business, as well as the in-store exposure. And that's why we build Ad Central TV, because I hear myself through someone. Sorry.
Somebody needs to mute themselves or something.
And that's why we set up Ad Central TV, was because once they're in store, you're not done marketing to them. Yeah, you have devices in the shelf, but you know, Ahmed talked last time I was on about financing. If you don't tell them immediately when they walk in the door that you're financing, how else are they going to find out about it? So if it's on the TV while they're in your lobby and while they're waiting, then they know you also offer financing, or they know you also offer warranties with your repairs, or any type of other additional service. It could just be the upsell of a tempered glass on a device. And if your employee doesn't take the time because they're busy, having a bad day, weren't trained well enough, how are those customers going to know, you know, we have a tempered glass deal or we have a bundle? It's so important that they're constantly reminding them of these things, because if you don't tell them, the customer isn't going to know. So
Very good. Thank you. What about you,
Yeah,
Scott, coming from the parts industry? Hold on, we're going to go around, and then I want to give everybody a chance to, I want to give everybody a chance to chime in. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, even though it kind of sounds more base level, the number one thing that I kind of see when talking to both like brand new shops and then like shops that have been around since the beginning is repairing everything, and at least offering to repair everything. Because, you know, I know for sure the biggest argument you get when you tell a shop, hey, you need to be able to repair everything, is I don't have enough money to stock all the parts or whatnot. But there's a solution to every problem, right? And so even things like iPads, it's shocking, but, you know, I'll talk to stores sometimes and they're just like, we just don't touch iPads. We've had issues in the past. We just don't touch them. They're one of the highest margin repairs. You know, it's crazy to turn something like that away, especially when they are already in your door. You know, it's something I always try to recommend to customers, especially on like those expensive brand new S22 screens or whatever it may be. Like, no, you don't need to stock one of each color frame and have $50,000 in inventory. Every vendor out there, including us, obviously has overnight shipping, right? Just tack that overnight shipping onto your customer, build it into the repair, whatever it may be, and set honest expectations. But it's one of those where I feel like people get so fixated on like, oh, it's a problem repairing this, or I can't do this because of that. And it's rather than like focusing on the problem, it's like figuring out why is it a problem, and then kind of like working backwards for a solution, you know? So I really think that's like the biggest thing, because it's like nonstop. I mean, I've been doing this for like 8 years now, selling parts, and nonstop I'll hear people say, no, I don't do game consoles, or I don't do this or that. And, you know, there's a way to, you know, not necessarily do every single repair under the sun, but you can still hit 90% of them, you know, by being open-minded and willing to offer it, rather than just essentially letting money walk out your door to your competitor. Because if they come to you, you say, no, I'm not doing it, it's an iPad, they're going to your competitor, getting it done the same day. And then every other repair for them, their family member, etc., now goes to your competitor. So it's not always just a one-loss sale either. It's a compounded loss of just, you know, being closed-minded kind of thing. So I would say that's my biggest opinion on it.
Thank you. You make a great point. Ahmed, what about you?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Okay, so I was out today, and I just want to say one thing. They have to do all the services, Scott. You're right. They can't stop from doing any. If you're a repair guy, you got to repair. You have to educate yourself. I'm sorry. Sometimes people say it's easy for you to say. No, it's not easy. I open a repair business. I need to do all the repairs. If I don't know some parts, I need to reach out to people like you here on this panel and tell them, teach me, and pay you to teach me. There is a place I was today in a store, and I was talking to, you know, I walked in with the executive from Gen Mobile, and we were talking to the owner. A guy walks in, and a lady walks in, and she wanted to fix her phone. You know what he said? I'm sorry, ma'am, we don't have a technician on staff. So I asked him, I said, oh, wow, you don't have, what happened to your technician? He said he took a vacation. He's been gone for 2 months. I said, you haven't done the repair for 2 months? Yeah. I said, you need to take that sign that says repair in the front off, because people coming in, you're what are you doing, man? You're hurting your business. Businesses are, they need to update. I don't know I mean, maybe I'm hardcore, but I just don't know. I just don't do things half-ass. These people doing half-ass all over the place. They need to be trained. They need to get back again to people like you. They need to ask the professionals, and they need to update the game. That's it. That's what I tell everybody. Update your game, service your customers, come to shows, come to training, call and spend money on your business, and get big, you know. Sometimes I'm sorry, I can't sugarcoat things. I'm not the guy who's going to sugarcoat. I don't even know how to do it. It pisses me off when I see someone spending 12 hours or 10 hours a day of his life sitting in. Dude, you are in jail. Like, if you're sitting in a room between four walls and not making money, you're in jail. That's right, isn't it?
Right.
Who's next? I'm
Tabitha is next.
Tabitha, go for it. Yeah.
So I would really speak on two different things. Number one, because I do come from that game console background and teach that at Celbotics. And what I noticed when I was still working in retail locations was a lot of these places would advertise that we did console repair, but we never touched them. We always did business to business. We might make $20, $40 off the top being a middleman. And then when I started diving into these consoles and realized a lot of these were pretty simple repairs. They were really easy. Once you could get down some basic soldering skills for an HDMI port, learn how to take them apart and clean them, and learn how to do a hard drive, you're good. There's so much you can do with that. But on the other hand, I also like to tell people, you want to do all of these things, and it's good to offer all of those things, but you also need to make sure that you have a healthy structure and boundaries for yourself so that you are not overwhelming yourself, or as an employer, you don't want to be overwhelming your technicians at the time. I think someone was talking about before hiring somebody, I think it was you, Ahmed, was talking about hiring somebody to take the phone calls. Take that load off of your technicians.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times some stores or technicians will take on all of this stuff and they can't handle it, or employers will put a lot of stuff on their employees and they can't handle it, and then the business suffers. So I definitely think that they need to diversify and bring all these things on, but they also need to make sure that they are having healthy boundaries in place and having proper training and proper support for their employees at this time.
Man, that was powerful.
It is powerful. The delegating is very important.
Yes.
The one man show stores, you can be one man show for the first year, but you can't do that every year, man. You got to grow. No companies grow. Everybody talks about Amazon started in a garage. The guy's not in the garage anymore.
Right.
You got to get out of your garage sometimes. So they need to understand. And you know what? I just want to chime in one subject here. I don't want to be a business owner to be called CEO. Screw that. I don't want to be a CEO. I want to make money. Call me the janitor and make me money. So I'm willing to work for people sometimes. Some of these store owners, dude, if you're sinking and if you're not making it, why don't you go get a job partner with someone? Go tell your whatever, figure something out. Close that store that's killing you and go work for a company and give them value. Put yourself where you belong. If you're good at one thing, you don't have to go to be a good. Running a business is not easy. It's fun, but it's not easy. If you don't know what you're doing, admit it to yourself and say, I want to go work for XYZ. Maybe I need to update the game and learn from them. Then I'll come back again and revisit my business. But there's a lot of business owners, hard-headed. They don't want to change. Their biggest challenge themselves. They don't want to delegate. They don't trust anybody. I walked into places and they said, well, I don't trust anybody. Dude, it is what it is. You have to trust, and you're going to get burned until you find the right person, and then you grow your business.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yep. I want to hear from Bobby. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Add to that. I'm sorry. Who was going to say something?
I think Joshua was up.
Next person, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to speak on honestly just buying and reselling. To be honest, I feel personally like, and actually, I honestly pretty much know that a lot of people get started buying and reselling these devices. And before we get into the topic of, if the device still financed, if you want to just avoid that situation in the whole, only buy devices that are paid off and profit off that and make a larger margin. Like, why are you letting money walk out your front door when they want to sometimes just get cash? A lot of times people just need cash and they want to just come to these repair shops just because they probably think like, hey, maybe they'll give me something. If the device meets your store qualifications, why not? Why are you going to let it walk past you when you could obviously make way more than what you would have from buying the regular way that you are? So definitely diversifying and just trying to figure out how you could put in buying and reselling, and just using all the resources and tools. There's direct buyers, people that will buy your devices, whether it's financed or unlocked. There's unlocking tools to whether you can even check to see if the device is even paid off or is it still financed. Like, these are just things that I use strategically to just make sure that, I'm not buying no bad devices out here, nor am I, giving out bad devices as well. I'm trying to avoid that in all situations. And I speak more about that in my course. That was just a little tip of the iceberg of just kind of just getting deep into that situation. So just definitely implementing that. I feel like it definitely add $30,000 a year to your business.
Stores should be buying back old devices for sure. There's no reason why stores shouldn't be. Definitely. What about you, Javier? What do you think people are not doing enough of?
Well, I'm gonna stick to my talk at refurb. I mean, I'm the refurb guy here, so I don't know. I just feel like you mentioned earlier, a lot of people are just a little intimidated in that, and they feel like it's a lot of work. But to be honest, it's really not that bad. You can do a refurb in less than an hour. If you got it timed out properly and the right training and skills. And then that's why we're teaming up with Cellbotics to give you guys those skills. So if you guys are interested, I'll be having some training courses with her and their team, and you guys can
they'll be online.
They'll be online for you guys to take a look at. I just finished the Apple iPhone one, so iPhone you'll be able to do. And but getting back to diversification, guys, just try to do as much as you can. Don't leave everything on the table, because as a retail store, you have accessories. You could do micro soldering. Yes, micro soldering. You could even do like IoT services. There's a lot of elderly individuals that want to set up Wi-Fi devices in their home. You could be like, you got a mobile repair unit, just go there and set up service for them. So lots of different things. Just think outside of the box and just try to get it implemented in your stores.
Thank you. All right, Bobby, what about you?
Sure. So I've heard a lot of the things covered already, but I'll just echo that. The biggest thing is you have to evolve. It feels like in this year alone, we've seen more repair shops close than ever before. And I think a lot of that is due to the market's been saturated for a long time. Everyone was doing an iPhone screen replacement or an iPhone battery. If everyone's doing that, what makes you different? And if you're not changing and everyone's standard is an objection to what's hard. And what's hard is what's unknown. And just because you don't know how to solder, you don't know how to do a game console or do back glass or refurb, doesn't mean you shouldn't, because as everyone's echoed, a lot of the harder stuff has a lot more margin in it, because usually it's the knowledge that you're having to kind of work up. The cost of the parts are typically a lot lower than the basic screen replacements or batteries. It's actually a lot of the reason we got into the laser space like 3 years ago. Everyone was trying it just with a heat gun or different methods, and there was a struggle there. And we were kind of like, well, these are like $1,000 machines. Is this worth it? We kind of just had to jump in, and it's been great for us. And every repair shop that's jumped into it has seen the same thing. You buy the machine, and then the glass is on average like $5 to $10. So you're making a lot more than you are on just the average repair. And that's kind of the overarching message is you just have to learn new things. You're going to make mistakes. It's part of the learning process. If you want to minimize those mistakes, having a structured training process, which I've heard everyone kind of echo, is important. The guides or outsourcing that training to another company that can show you how to do that. That way, the common pitfalls. That way you don't have to find them for yourself and cost yourself more money. But that's all a part of the learning process. It doesn't seem like we're getting simpler on the board side. If anything, they're getting more complicated. So you just have to figure out new solutions to problems that are going to keep coming up. Because again, if you don't learn the new models of repair, the new types of repairs, you're probably going to get left behind. And as Ahmed mentioned, I mean, it is a jail if you're just sitting there not doing anything. And over time, it's going to shrink more and more the like common repairs you get in, because there's a lot of people already doing them, or they're going straight to the manufacturer. There's all kinds of things that saturate that now, but the overarching thing is you just have to change. If you don't change, you're going to get left behind.
Right.
If you don't change, you're going to get left behind.
I think that margin point is huge too. So many people are so scared to jump into these things, and they don't realize you can take this 50-cent charge port and make $150 profit right then and there.
Mhm.
I mean, just learning something new can increase your profits drastically.
Definitely.
All right, Shira, what about you?
Yeah, I want to mention. Yeah, absolutely. I think I want to talk to the new store owner as well as the veteran. I think at my store now for almost a year, and but previously, a lot of stuff I just did mobile, and I feel like for certain repairs that I wasn't either comfortable with, I may have either learned it or worked with somebody locally. So, like for people who, like you said, I met people walking in asking for certain repairs, and you're like, there's no tech. But if you're having someone walk in for an Apple Watch repair and you're just like, we don't do them, that you can possibly just outsource it, and you can make, $50 to $100 just by outsourcing it, understanding that for Apple to fix a watch for someone is going to be hundreds of dollars, and it may take them maybe 3 weeks to a month to even get it back. So for the new repair shop or someone who's not doing Apple Watches, it's like, outsource it so that way you can still get that revenue. And I would just say for some of the veterans, consider if you're working in some of the skills of consoles or other things, look to work with maybe some other local repair shops that maybe they can outsource work to you. So that's something that I've been working on the last few months, is working with other local shops to outsource their watch repairs to me. And so far we have two shops, and we've done probably like 10 watches in a month just for those two. And I've just started recently reaching out to a few.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's great. We have a comment here. It said, I'd say that if you are sitting out doing nothing, you can simply be learning self-training on new repairs you can offer.
100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
100%. Don't just sit there doing nothing.
Right.
And just complaining like the industry is terrible while we've got owners out here making $2 million a year with one store. Like you're just, and they're in a small town. Yeah, it's just. Come on.
Another thing I just want to tell the new store owners and the new business owners, it's okay not to know things. It's not okay not to ask to learn. Ask people. Pick up the phone, call your friend, call one of these guys here, reach out to Nicole. You got Javier, you got Bobby. Call someone. Ask them where to go. Don't be afraid. You're not a less man or less important person if you say that. You're not, some of them are just shy, embarrassed. I don't want to, I'm the guy, I can fix things. I don't need to ask anybody. Everybody, every day I ask someone, every day till today, until the day I die, I'm going to ask a professional to help me in what I do. I'm a marketer, master agent in prepaid products. I still make mistakes, and I go to some of my friends and I ask them. No one is perfect. So ask and seek help. It's okay to do that, because some people might not do it because they don't know where to go. Let me go to Google. Let me go to YouTube. It's good. I'm glad that you do that, but pick up the phone and call some professionals like the one that you're here, and like the one on this panel here, or others, whatever. Just ask a professional. Make sure you ask the right person.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to address a question, and this is kind of out of the blue. None of you are prepared for this, but I've had some people reach out to me and say, so what do you think with all these stores selling? First off, I want to say, somebody mute themselves, or has you Facebook running in the background or LinkedIn running in the background, because we can hear ourselves. So if you have Facebook open or something, close it, okay? Because we're getting a lot of feedback, or mute yourself, okay? So first off, do you think from where you're sitting in the industry that a lot of stores have been selling, or is that just their view of it? And two, what do you think that means? If you think that there is a lot of stores selling, what do you think that means? I'll give my opinion last, so I'll let you guys go first. Kevin, you want to give your point of view on it? Or if you have one, you guys might not have one.
I somewhat have a point of view, but maybe if I could go in a couple people, just so I could fully understand the direction.
Scott, Nicole, do you get my question?
I didn't understand the question. Can you repeat it again?
So a few people have reached out to me recently, and Ahmed, I positioned you with this question recently, where someone had asked me, what's with all the stores selling?
Oh, like actually selling their business, right?
Like they're selling their business, right? So first off, because remember, some people perceive things from where they're sitting differently than we do. So is it just, no, there's not a bunch of stores selling from where you're sitting? Or two, do you see a lot of stores selling? And what do you think that means for the industry? So I have an opinion, but I want to go last. So
sure. I misunderstood the question for sure.
Okay.
So let me
go, Kevin. Go ahead.
I will go ahead and say, for one, I think this is natural in any new industry, or not new, but in any industry that it consolidates, right? If you look at carriers like Verizon or anything, they've consolidated a lot over time. And I think the barrier to entry for a repair store is fairly low. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just any person could open a repair shop if they put out the effort. And I think what happens is a lot of people learn that either A, that they don't like being a business owner, or maybe they're just not good at it, which is okay. And, or they struggle in general. And I think those people look to sell. And then I think there are also people that were good at being a business owner, good at running a repair store, but they have other goals and ambitions. And so they find themselves looking at other industries. And sometimes that involves selling your older business. I mean, it would be ideal that you keep your business and it operates in a way that doesn't require you every single day, but that's not always an option for some people. And sometimes they just want the startup capital as well. So I do think there are people selling. I do see stores for sale. I do see it even in the franchise space of CPR or other types of franchises where they're consolidating. And I don't think that it should be something that should deter you from wanting to grow your business. I think you should just look at it as, how can you continue to grow? I mean, what they're doing shouldn't affect you, you know?
Right. Okay, great. Thank you. That was a great point of view. Scott, what about you?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I definitely don't think it's like a mass influx of people selling their stores necessarily. I do think there's quite the echo chamber on like Facebook and all that kind of stuff where people, if you're on there enough and you see, every time you log in that maybe someone's selling, that's cool and all, but like that's a tiny scope of like what's really out there, right? So like in my opinion, I don't think at scale, it's if anything, I would, I guess I would say that more stores are closing than just selling, to be perfectly honest. And the few that are selling, I would totally agree with Kevin. It's usually they've been doing a great job. They like it. They just have been doing it for so long and they want to do something new and they want to get excited again as an entrepreneur. So then they're trying to, sell it off and move on to something else. And they just don't even want to have that like emotional tie anymore to their old business, because it's hard to kind of like let that go even partially while still trying to focus on something else. So granted, I don't have facts, right? But in my opinion, I don't think it's a massive spike or anything. I think with the consolidation and just a lot of changes, things are just shifting a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Scott. That's a good point too. What about you, Ahmed? What are your thoughts? We've already talked about this, but I want to.
We talk. So I want to do two things. First of all, I want to talk why they're closing and how to stop from closing. How about that? I hate to deliver bad news. I like to give solutions more than, but I'm going to say, both Scott and Kevin, I believe, right? Kevin spoke before. Okay. You guys brought very valued points. I see a couple of comments over here came in, COVID and all these things. Everything they said was correct. I think COVID has a lot to, I see that the comment on the screen.
Lots of money coming in from COVID and people opened up businesses that they were not ready to run.
Absolutely. That's 100%. And I agree with that. That was a shock. So let's take let's take some part. They closed. They don't know what they're doing. They were scared. This is their first business. Probably I would have been scared to death when COVID came in and I have to open my doors. Hell no, I don't need it because I'm just new. I didn't see the struggle. There's a struggle in life and everything. And the struggle this time was a nuclear struggle. It was strong for people to understand the beginning. So this is part. I'm going to talk about the people who've been in business for 2-3 years, maybe a little longer. Why are they still struggling? I'm telling you guys, update the game. The training again and all the and there's a lot of them sold, closing, and there's a lot more is going to close. A lot more is going to close. It's not gonna over yet. It didn't even hit the shit. Excuse me. It didn't go all over the place yet. There is more coming in, and we're going to see more closing. But the ones that they're struggling right now, you need to update your game. You need to change the way you're doing. I said that before. If you're running your business today, like exactly the same way you ran your business before COVID, you're gonna struggle. I don't want to say close, but you're gonna struggle. So stop the struggle and start marketing, building your business. For today, my visits, by the way, I haven't visited stores in about 5 years. So these past 2 days, I went into 25 was the best thing. I decided to do it next week. So I'm going to be out alone next week, just visiting because I need to connect with these guys.
Nice.
Do you have a Facebook page? No. Do you have a website? No. Do you sell online? No, dude, what the hell are you doing then?
Right.
What are you doing to yourself? You're gonna die. I didn't tell them that. I said
They're not going to die.
the business is gonna die. That is what it is. When the business die, it's me dying too. So
Right.
my family dying. I don't need that to happen.
Right.
So I don't want anybody to die. You have a lot good things out there. The game need to be updated. I am just disappointed that I heard a lot of the answers I heard. I didn't tell them that because I don't want to make them upset. But I'm gonna go back again and have a little talk with a few of them and to see how I can make them understand. But I can't do that to everybody. I'm not gonna be able to go that all over the country. So they need to watch seminars. They need to educate themselves. Education, training, and that's what's gonna save their business. Otherwise, we're gonna continue seeing the struggle, and a lot will close. But
I think sometimes this message falls on deaf ears that are kind of numb too. They need to re-energize themselves with their business. And
the biggest challenge these days to businesses, the owner themselves.
Motivation, like literally being excited for your business. Like somebody has us playing in the background. Just all right, Tabitha, what about you? What do you think? Is that you, Ahmed?
No, it's not me. I don't know.
So I have a couple of different opinions on it. Number one, I think that because of social media, we see things and a lot more than that's what's really happening. I think that we're seeing a lot of companies, they're selling, they're closing, they're having these issues, whatever. But I think it's just so much more in our face now as it's on social media, and we're spending so much time on social media. We see a lot of things on there. But I also think in addition to that, I think there's two different things going on. I think you've got some people in the industry that have been in the industry for 10, 15 years, and they're getting burnt out, and the industry is evolving, and you either keep up or it's not going to work. Right. And then I think on the other hand, you've got people who jumped into the game. Maybe they've only had a shop over 6 months to a year, 2 years, whatever. And I mean, just in the few years I've been in the industry, it has changed and evolved so much. And if you don't have the mindset to keep growing and to evolve and to change with this at the rate this industry evolves, it's just not going to happen. You're not going to be able to last. You've got to be able to keep up with the pace of this industry.
Yeah, that is so spot on. And of course you would say the first thing I was going to say.
You created a mini Nicole.
We're just on the same brain frequency sometimes. All right, but Josh, go ahead. What about you? Oh, you're muted.
Honestly, I don't have too much of an opinion on this topic, but what I will say is if you are struggling, in your repair business, I would definitely suggest coming to the Repair Expo just because, I promise you, on the first one, I learned so much. And, the fact that you're going to be able to learn from, all these different people, you will get your answer there. I remember being there, somebody asking these questions, everybody's, answering these questions.
Excitement. Remember the energy and the space.
It's just good energy. So if you are and you can't invest $99 to, come to this event and learn and possibly help your business and do a big 180, then I'm confused.
Yeah, thank you. That was great. That's a great tip. What about you, Javier? Yeah. I'm going to mute you. If you guys aren't talking, can you mute yourself? I don't know where the feedback's coming from, so.
Yeah, I'm going to touch back on what Josh said, get in touch with people, get to the expos and just find one way that can re-energize you, give you that spark, because stepping back into your retail showroom, your business and, your employees and everybody sees it. So whenever you start feeling like that, it has a trickle effect and everyone gets affected. So I know times get tough and, your attitude and stuff may shift, but just try to catch yourself ahead of time, and stay positive and just try to, re-engineer things and just keep pushing forward. Everything's gonna be good. Just remotivate yourselves.
Real quick, there was just a comment that came up asking where the expo is. It's in San Antonio, Texas, but the dates I'm not 100% sure on.
Yes. Yeah, so it's October 13th and 14th. Tabitha will be there. She just doesn't know the dates.
I just don't have the dates memorized.
It's in her calendar. I'm going to show it up here on the banner. So it's October 13th and 14th. Let me just add the location in here. What about you, Bobby? What do you think about this whole store selling thing? Do you have an opinion on it?
I do, and I think I mentioned it earlier. Everyone's comments kind of puts it more into perspective. So I'm seeing it more now, or I'm hearing it more now, and there's more of a concern now than there used to be. I think what's happened is when COVID started, it was kind of a lull, and then it went up because everyone had these stimuluses, and it was kind of a high, and then we're coasting down now. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. So we're just seeing that people are posting it more now, and we have all these lists we send emails to, and we get more bounce backs now more than we have in the past, where it's like, oh, I've sold the shop, I'm no longer the owner. So there is a couple things going on. There's some that are closing, but there's more of a transference. They're selling to someone else. They're keeping the shop open. And as mentioned, people are a lot more vocal on social media now, on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. So you do see it pop up a lot more, but it just goes back to the reason why a lot of them are doing that is either because, as mentioned, they're getting burnt out on it. They want to move into something else. I've seen a lot of people jump into real estate. That's been a common one. And then the second one is just they don't have enough revenue to cover their expenses. And a lot of that goes back to they're just not changing. They're trying to do the same thing they've always done, and they're in a hole they can't get out of because they're not trying anything different. And I think that's the definition of insanity, right? Expecting different results of doing the same thing and over and over. So it just goes back to that. And that's where going to the expo in Atlanta, we got to talk to a lot of other vendors, a lot of other potential customers of ours already too. And just, we heard the same thing, that they're having to get new things. And the two big ones are micro soldering and refurbishment, because those two things have always been seen as, this is like a level 3 type repair. This is the hardest thing you can do, and you're like a master tech or whatever you want to call yourself. But that's not necessarily the case anymore. 10 years ago, when no one was doing it and you had to like figure it out on your own, there were no videos, there were no experts in the space. Yeah, it was a lot harder to do. Nowadays, though, there's like probably 1,000 people soldering on phones, if just a quick number.
Right.
Refurbishment, it's probably just about that. And I think as technicians, because I started off as a technician like 10 years ago, there's a sort of pride that sometimes mixes with ego, where you don't want to ask for help. You want to do it on your own. I think it says a lot about your personal growth and your professional growth as a technician when you just finally decide, you know what, let me ask that question, or let me ask for help, because that's the only way you're going to learn additional info. I've done a lot of trainings in the past, and one of the things that a mentor that I've worked with told me is you should take one thing from everyone that you work with and add that to your kind of your person, your teaching, your professional, whatever it may be. Try to learn from anyone you talk. It doesn't have to be repair. It can be like a professional thing. It could be a business development, management, anything like that, because those are all free. It's not like you're paying them to get that. You acquire it, and it's like that comment earlier. If you don't have anything to do, teach yourself. There's all kinds of resources out there to do it on your own, or find somewhere to invest in yourself and really grow and change your business. Because if not, you might be one of those posting on Facebook someday.
Right.
Not trying to be negative about it, but that's potentially where it could go.
Yeah. Thank you, Bobby. We appreciate that. Thank you. All right, Shira, what about you? Shira?
Yeah, so yep, sorry, I was taking myself off of mute. So I think a big thing is, some of us have transitioned from techs to business owners. And, the biggest thing is you have to be working on yourself to grow as you're running a business. So running your business and working on your business is one thing, but you have to also work on the business, not just in the business. So it's, what kind of growth plan are you working on? What are you doing for marketing and sales? Are you improving anything? Are you recognizing any issues that are happening? Are you able to resolve anything? Do you have these process and different things in place so that way you can improve? Otherwise, some people are just experiencing drop in their revenues, but they have no idea what's happening and why, because they're just kind of, running the business, and they're not working on the business to be able to recognize where the holes are and what are some things they need to improve. And I think Bobby mentioned it, sometimes it's the ego. It's like you can't be afraid to ask for help. You need to, make sure you're with community of the industry, come into these expos, so that way you can meet people, because it can get lonely being an entrepreneur and you need support, or you need suggestions and recommendations for other people. So I think the expo definitely opens up a community for people to work with other shop owners, to work with and learn and grow, that it will help them work on their business and not just in it, so that way they can have longevity.
Right. Thank you so much. You make a great point. Somebody commented, I can't see their name, but thank you so much for the info. I will plan to come to the expo in October. That's great. For me, I think, like Tabitha touched on, we just see it more because of social media. I think that's one thing, especially at Soulbotics, because we get just people are just for some reason learning that we're just helping people share them and sell them, even though we're not like a selling company. We're just like connecting people. And sometimes people just close them, you know, and it's hard to pinpoint, but sometimes I think it's also that the business owner is in like the wrong location and isn't able to realize that if they relocate, even if it's 30 minutes in the other direction, they think, oh my God, that's so far. I got to drive that far. You know, like, you know, we drive an hour and 20 minutes to our office, and our office is in a location because of certain reason, because that's where the clientele is. So I think sometimes it's bad location selection. It's not reaching the community like they could be. And then they just kind of get like in a spiral rut where they're just not motivated for their business like they were in the beginning. And so they, you know, we sit on these lives and we say, market, you know, network, and people are just like, whatever, you know, some are like, whatever, I don't want to hear it. I've tried all of it, you know, but you really haven't tried all of it. You just half-ass it. And then you get mad when somebody else says that it works. You know what I mean? And it is working for other people. It is. There are stores out there thriving in small towns and big cities. It is the truth. And if that's hard for you to hear, it's because you're one of the ones that are blocked off to the changes that you need to make as a business owner. And I do this a lot with my clients, is you have to realize that you are the creator for the company. You are not the one who's supposed to be doing all the day-to-day. If you are doing all of the day-to-day, you have no way to be a visionary for the company. And a company only grows in revenue when it has a visionary at the front. If you are not the visionary because you are bogged down answering phones, doing repairs, doing the inventory, and then you say, but Nicole, I can't afford an employee, then you need to reevaluate your expenses at home and how much you're taking for yourself, because you need to pay your employee, because that will make you earn more income. And I know that's hard to hear, but you hire to grow, not grow and then hire. It's the opposite way around. You guys have to change the way you think. If you are a one-man shop all by yourself, this is why you're struggling, because you're by yourself. You're not growing your business. You don't have any bandwidth. That's what they call it. There's no bandwidth. It's just get day-to-day, put out fires all day long. So that's my point of view. I think, of course, there's kind of a, not a purge, but like, yeah, the industry's changing. But you have to change with it. You have to be open to working with the manufacturers. You have to get involved. If not, yeah, you might go under, but believe me, somebody else is going to fill that space. The industry isn't going anywhere.
Can I just add to that real quick? You know, a lot of times, you know, because I come from a background, I've worked in a lot of different shops and warehouses and all this before I even came on with Soulbotics. And a lot of times shop owners will sit there and think about the monetary investment of hiring, monetary investment of the refurb equipment, the lasers, all of these things that they have to invest this lump sum of money into. And they just think about that lump sum instead of thinking about how that's going to be paid back. I remember one instance where the company I was working with, we really wanted to get a backlash laser machine because that was the new thing. We really wanted it, but it was like $5,000 at the time. So what we did was we literally started a tally sheet, and every time a customer called and said, hey, can you do this? We would just mark it down as a tally. And once we built up enough, we're like, we can pay this off in 2 days.
If you guys,
because of the amount of people asking for it.
Yeah, Tabitha, I wanted to tell them about the sheet that we created, and we give it away for free. Soulbotics Online. It's the interaction tracking. So Tabitha and I work with a lot of shops and companies, and one thing they don't do is track interactions. They track sales. So when people walk in and buy things, people walk in and sign up for a newsletter on your website, you're tracking that. But you're not tracking the phone call of, hey, do you sell iPhone 12 cases? No. Okay. You don't track that. So the part of growing your business and understanding what to add is knowing what you're missing. But the only way you can know what you're missing is just from the people that are contacting you, which is the hardest part. When they contact you and you don't offer the service that they have, but you're not tracking that, so you can't calculate it. On this spreadsheet, it actually has fields to calculate. Okay, like, you know, we got this many, you know, repairs, and this would have been the value, and this is what we could have done with that. Because a lot of times Tabitha and I can work with a store owner and literally within 1 month convince them to add a service based on stuff that they lost after they've tracked interactions. not just sales, interactions from everything. Somebody walks by and asks, do you fix 13? Do you do back glass? No. Your employees just stop saying no, and they actually jot it down, and it goes towards lost business. And you get to actually see that number walk away from you just because you don't have a couple $1,000s in machines. That's it. So sellboticsonline.com if you want that interaction tracking sheet, if you guys are watching.
It's are you there? Can you guys hear me? Okay, well, I just want to add one thing. I know we got to the hour. I won't be too long. I spoke to two people, by the way, two companies, big companies. One is a chain. They opened 54 stores this year. I just want to give some good news to people. There is opening in new stores for every. It sounds like a lot of stores closing, but a lot more opening. But they're more organized. They have a system. They build a system, and they're going big time. They're all over nationwide. I have another guy called me. He said, please, Ahmed, find me people that they want to open repair shops. I said, how many are you looking for? He said, as many as we can. So there is people out there want to grow, and they're growing. And he's telling me like he's breaking records, like he's setting a new record every month. I don't want to bring up anybody's names, and I won't, but this is what's going on right now. There is a lot of people out there, and I know a lot of friends telling me that, Ahmed, man, it's been great. So there is someone out there doing fantastic, and there is companies are growing. There is some system. They have a system. They build a system. Like I don't know. I believe Scott was saying, why are you not repairing tablets? Why are you not repairing? But the easy stuff, easy is not going to make it happen, man, guys. It's not going to pay the bills anymore. Easy for lazy. You know what I mean? Easy for lazy, not for smart people. So update your game, learn, add. Dude, you're not even updating. You're not even doing the right thing in your gig. So finish your gig right, make it happen, and you'll make money. I mean, there is money out there. There's big time money, but it's your challenge again. The owners are the biggest challenge to themselves. Thank you.
I was muted. Okay. Anybody have anything to add? We're a little bit past the hour. Anything you guys want to say? I do want to say, Repairs First, a little bit of a plug for them. They're really amazing what they've done just for our students. I mean, Tabitha can contest to this. I mean, they've actually got on and negotiated leases and helped people get signage and handle all the business stuff, teach people how to calculate attachment rates and how to calculate all these business numbers that as a self-starter, you may not know. So definitely, if you're struggling on the business side, Repairs First is a very simple, easy subscription, $69 a month, and you get access to all of these people, and you actually can get on the phone with them, and they will help you. They will stay on the phone with you for an hour and physically help you, which I've never heard of. So that's why I've always kind of stood behind Repairs First. We actually send all of our students to Repairs First to get help with opening their stores. And so I just want to give that little plug, because a lot of people think that there's not business help out there, and there most absolutely is. Okay. And of course the expo. So you guys, there's so much more to announce about the expo, but yeah.
I can't speak enough about the expo and what the expo is going to do for all of the stores. It's a class, it's a college, it's where you're going to learn and meet everybody and feel and pick up new solutions. You're trying to do things on your own. We are trying to do things all on our own. I mean, I'm very happy just to know everybody here in the panel, just right here. I'm looking at great guys. I want to see, I want to talk to ladies too. I want to learn from everybody. I want to hear everybody. I want to see you in person. And maybe if I pick up one good thing that's going to change my future, it will be definitely in the expo and in the conferences in general. But this one right here is a repair one. The only conference is directed toward and cater for the repair industry. So everybody get that $99, buy your ticket, buy your hotel, whatever you need, and get there.
Like so next week is going to be some really fun announcements. So you're going to want to have a ticket. So buy your airfare before it goes up.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
You're going to want to be there when this announcement comes out. You're going to want to be there. So get your ticket. All right, guys.
It's like else want to add best deal. I mean, $99.
Yes. Right. I paid a $3,000 ticket for a show one time. $500 for another show. Like it's, these shows, this is $99 is nothing. So anybody else want to add anything before we go?
Real quick, there was a question about after someone learns phone repair and tablet repair, what's the next best repair to learn as a beginner? I mean, phone and tablet covers a lot. But I would say game consoles probably a good segue because then it's like a gateway into micro soldering, and it's like easy micro solder, or not easy, but not as hard because you're doing ports, and then you can get into ICs and other stuff from there. But I think
It's
that
much
one's real
bigger too.
common. Nintendo Switches we see break all the time, and they're still holding their value. So someone will pay to get that fixed versus going and buying another one. So that would be my answer if anyone else has one.
And I would say if you've learned to repair them, another good thing to add for beginners, especially if you're working mobile, is phone flipping. Josh's course is literally like $300, and you can get with him and you actually get to talk with him individually. And I'm not just pitching that because he works with us, but we've actually, I mean, I see the stories. The students call me, they're making the money, you know? And so I think as a mobile tech and as a beginner working on your own, this is something that's a no-brainer to add and can be done from anywhere. So gaming, lasers a little bit, right? Bobby, what do you think about lasers? Because I think a laser backglass as a service for mail-in is also a good business. What are your thoughts on that as a beginner?
Definitely. So the repair isn't difficult with a laser. It's when you try to do it with all the manual tools, which it's not hard. It's just different. It takes.
Do you train them if they buy the laser from you? Do you train them?
So when you buy the laser from us, we do have all the content we've created, videos, guides. So that all comes to the laser. The training does not. What we do for people that are local to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if they're coming by, we will give them like a 30-minute, 45-minute crash course on how to do it. But a lot of it is hands-on, and it's easy to get into because running the machine is the easy part. It's figuring out just like when you open your first iPhone, figuring out how to open it without damaging it, taking your time to not cause other issues in the phone. I would say that backglass repair is definitely a big one to jump into. It's a little more on the costly side because of the laser stuff, but as Tabitha mentioned originally, and then Nicole, you echoed it with the interaction sheet, that's how we sell a lot of our lasers. We just tell the customer, all right, if you're on the fence, how many have you said no to? If that's like 30, I mean, calculate it's $100. That's $3,000 in revenue that you've just said no to.
You need to track those no's. We see a lot of stores don't track the no's. So you've got to track the no's. If your employees are just answering the phone and hanging up and saying no, you need to track that because it will completely change your business. I promise if you track that.
Yeah,
somebody said drone repair, which is really awesome. So I agree there. I think that there is a niche demand for that, and it's only going to increase, especially with the trend of fireworks ending. There's a lot of drone companies now, and I think as drones get more prevalent, I think it's going to be definitely a need, and it just makes sense. I will also say exercise equipment is another good thing. I know repair technicians can add it. I mean, I've talked to Peloton myself. There's a huge gap in the market where exercise equipment is not being fixed, and you can average $250 to $300 an hour to repair them in home. So that's just some other stuff to add.
Real quick, two people have talked about the whole manual process. I guess the heat gun and tools. We gravitate towards the laser side, but it is definitely doable with the heat gun and manual tools. You just have to have more control because you are dealing with higher temperatures and heat, which can cause damage. But that being said, you can cause damage with anything. So I'm not the best to speak through the manual process. I think Scott and his team have a kit that has the whole manual thing. So I think Brad on his team is the one that does a lot of that. So he can probably speak a little bit more to that, but it's definitely possible with a laser machine. We just like the ease with the laser machine. You kind of set it, it goes, and then if you do buy the laser machine that can do laser engraving, you can do things like custom engraving on phones, on cases, on chargers, stuff like that.
I want to touch on this question. It says, do y'all teach drone repair? We do not currently at Cellbotics. However, at the expo, we are working on getting a drone school to actually come and give a demo. We haven't locked them in yet, but I'm giving out a little bit of secrets there. So there's a lot that's going to be at the expo, and we would announce it before the expo starts if it's going to be there. But truthful Jeremiah, as you being a beginner, I would definitely buy a ticket to the expo because you are going to learn so much. Javier's going to be there giving a demo. Bobby's going to be giving a demo on the laser. Shira's going to be giving a demo on watches. We're going to have some micro soldering training there, but I can't speak on that yet. There's going to be a lot of things there that you'll actually learn that will save you from having, like you'll just get an intro to me like, oh, I really want to do this. You know what I mean? Somebody mute themselves. Okay, there we go. We got it. All right. Anybody else want to add anything? Anything else? Please, info about the laser machine. Somebody wants info about the laser
I would say the last thing I would add is just a kind of a plug for Nicole at Robotics is you know, I was certain repairs and I feel like sometimes things, it's nothing wrong with that to a degree, but I feel like taking training, taking formal training will also build your confidence in, you know, repairing different things. I say for me, going to the training, we did a few teardowns, and for me it was the first teardown, but since then it has given me, you know, a great amount of confidence to device now, just because, you know, attending that training. So I would say invest in your spray. You know how much money you're going to lose by coming to this expo, but look at how much you're going to grow, how much information you can bring back to your team, or even info that you can come back and put a plan together for yourself in your shop, or to eventually open shop. So don't be afraid to invest in yourself. And you know, they say scare money don't make money.
I love it. I was muted. I said thank you. I love that. All right. Anything else before we go? If you want to buy a ticket, it's gadgetrepairexpo.com. $99 out the gate. Boom, you're there, ready to go.
The person that said, please info me about this laser machine, it just says Facebook user for me, so I'm not sure who you are, but if you want to reach out to us at eTech Parts Plus, that's our name, etechparts.com. Feel free to reach out, and we'll take care of it from there.
Nathan Ming is asking.
Okay, Nathan Ming.
Awesome.
A plug for Injured Gadgets there. So Raul loves Injured Gadgets, and so they've got all the stuff that you need. Here you go.
Thank you, Raul.
And they say thank you. Okay. All right,
guys. Hey, good time.
This is great. Thank you, everybody, for being on. You guys
on the next one.
See you guys.
You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. You are here on your own accord. We are not paying them to be on these lives. I cannot stress that enough. And they are taking time out of their busy day while I'm chasing them around trying to get them on lives, and they do it for us. So I just love you guys.
It's great.
It's great. Thank you, Nicole.
Everybody's a
thank you, guys. Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.